Hey everybody, we are back with another video. So this time we are reviewing Hawkeye, My Life as a Weapon by Matt Fraction. So this is one I wanted to read for a while. I got it for Christmas. But I will say, I am slightly disappointed. So this is part of the Marvel Premiere Collection, and it's more recent. I have a handful of these. They have, the Daredevil Born Again, they have Captain America the Winter Soldier, which I have, and they have like Civil War. I believe sometime this year or a few months ago they released Planet Hulk, and I also have Old Man Logan. So this is Matt Fraction and David Aja, I believe. Not sure how to pronounce that exactly. But this is 11 issues, and it ends kind of, I don't know, on a cliffhanger. I'm not really satisfied personally, but the story overall is good, but like leaving it on a cliffhanger I feel like is odd, because it's, the Premiere Collection. The other volumes have like full stories in them, the whole Winter Soldier collection, the entire Old Man Logan run by Mark Millar. But leaving this on a cliffhanger I feel like is odd. As far as I could tell, I did like a little bit of research, and Matt Fraction wrote like 22 issues of Hawkeye. So I'm assuming maybe like the artist changed over in those like 22 issues. So that's just the one artist. But I mean, maybe even then I feel like that's incorrect, because this has different artists throughout. So I will say, like, when I first started reading this run, and I was a little maybe not disappointed, but a little curious, because like the first two issues kind of start the same way. Like Hawkeye narrates, and like he says this is bad, and we start in the middle of the action, and I'm kind of like, okay, like hopefully it doesn't go the same way each issue, because that can kind of get tiresome. But the first two issues kind of start off the same way, and when you're first reading it, like it's kind of fun, like, oh, you're starting in the middle of action, and you kind of go from there. Especially the first issue I feel like's a tad confusing, because I wasn't exactly sure where the like current point was, so it was going back and forth between the timelines, past and present. And then that's mostly just like an issue of like Hawkeye kind of stops hanging with the Avengers, and he gets a dog named Lucky, and it's mostly just him kind of like living his life. He deals with some like Russian mob guys, and then we kind of go from there. The second issue is them and Kate Bishop and him in the circus, and Kate Bishop is someone from the Young Avengers, if you aren't familiar. I honestly wasn't like super familiar with her before reading this, but I wasn't familiar with Hawkeye either. And we do get a forward introduction by Matt Fraction. He mentions like, Hawkeye is kind of cool because he's like a normal guy. He mentions like he read an issue where he goes deaf, and him, Clint Barton, having to deal with that. So that was kind of interesting. My one critique throughout the volume would be like, I don't feel like Hawkeye's deaf. I don't mean to be like insensitive or anything, but like I don't get like the feeling of like, if Hawkeye does deal with that as like a regular problem, it's not like shown in the story. I know there's also the thing of like, not letting your disability define you and stuff like that, but I didn't get the sense of like Hawkeye's deaf. Like that wasn't like a, mentioning that in the forward, like the introduction. I feel like, oh, it's going to be like a big component of the story, but like it wasn't really mentioned throughout, as far as I could tell, unless there was like subtleties in the writing I missed maybe. But aside from that, overall the story was really good. We do get like a lot of perspectives between like Kate and Hawkeye. Like there is one, like a couple issues where they're kind of dealing with the same problem through through different perspectives, like the flooding of the city and stuff. Like Hawkeye's trying to help a friend to move, and Kate Bishop's going to a wedding. So there's stuff like that, and then there's like one like double issue where, you know, Hawkeye's like kind of put on, not trial, but like they're trying to get the MacGuffin of the story without giving away too much. And, you know, Hawkeye's to get it back, and it has a different, again, like I said, there are different artists. So there's one thing I like about like these kind of collections is like you get different artists throughout, different perspectives. And there are like a lot of mysteries. I will say in the first like 4 issues, you don't really get a sense of like what the overarching plot is, but kind of like issue 5 and on, we get like the sense that there is like an overarching plot with the Russian mob from like the first issue. But again, like I said, there are a couple detours. Like the first like 4 are kind of just like random stories. They're good, don't get me wrong, but you're kind of like, where is this going? And then we get through like issue 5 with him like making trickery arrows and stuff. And yeah, there's the overarching plot with the like the Russian mob, and you're like, oh, it gets pretty interesting. Also in this collection is a backup story of like Hawkeye meeting Kate Bishop. He is Ronin at the time, but yeah, overall this is pretty good. Like I said, it's kind of disappointing just like leaving it hanging there. So because that puts me kind of in a bind of like, do I need to go out and get the other issues? Is there maybe like a different trade I can pick up? I'm not so sure. Because most trades are like maybe like 6 issues in one trade. So that leaves me kind of like a standstill that I need to get like maybe like 2 trades or something. But because again, this goes through 11 issues. So that means the second volume would be like maybe like 7 through 12. So anyway, that's beside the point. But overall, I'd say it's pretty good. I would give it like a 9 out of 10. Like writing wise, the collection itself, I'm not so sure about. If you want like a full run, like I said, you'll probably have to like track the other issues maybe. But you are missing like another like 11 issues. So anywho, thanks for watching. And keep reading comics. Peace.